Poor sleep by itself does not usually cause a heart attack, but what many adults over 60 do in the first 25 to 30 seconds after waking up can place sudden, unnecessary stress on the heart at the worst possible time of day. There is one specific morning habit that millions of people perform automatically every single day. It feels harmless, it feels normal, it feels too small to matter. And yet in older adults, especially those with high blood pressure, diabetes, stiff arteries, hidden plaque, or a history of dizziness, that one tiny habit can sharply increase the strain on the cardiovascular system before breakfast, before coffee, before the day has even begun. And the most dangerous part is this: most people have never been warned about it. They have been told to watch their salt. They have been told to walk more. They have been told to take their medication. They have been told to monitor cholesterol and blood pressure, but almost no one explains what not to do in the first half minute after waking up. So stay with me until the end, because I am also going to show you one simple protective morning routine that takes less than 90 seconds, costs absolutely nothing, and may help your heart begin the day in a much safer way. My name is Dr. Clara Hoffman. I have spent years watching the same pattern repeat itself in adults who looked stable, felt fine the night before, and still ended up in serious trouble during the early morning hours. And what makes this so frustrating is that the mistake is so ordinary, so automatic, that most people never question it until the morning it matters most. Before I tell you the mistake, you need to understand what your body is doing in the final moments of sleep and the first moments of waking. Because without that, the danger does not fully make sense. While you sleep, your body is in a lower demand state. Your heart rate is slower. Blood pressure usually drops. Your nervous system becomes quieter. Your circulation is steadier. For the heart, sleep is one of the few times in a 24-hour day when the workload becomes relatively calm, but morning changes everything. Even before your eyes are fully open, even before your alarm rings, your body starts preparing to wake up. Stress hormones begin to rise. Cortisol starts climbing. Adrenaline begins building. Your heart rate starts increasing. Blood pressure starts moving upward. Your blood vessels begin tightening. That is normal. But after 60, normal can become dangerous if the cardiovascular system is already less flexible than it used to be. When you were younger, your blood vessels adapted quickly. Your reflexes were fast. Your circulation responded smoothly to position changes. But later in life, arteries are often stiffer, blood pressure is more sensitive, and in many people, there is plaque quietly sitting inside the arteries without causing obvious symptoms at all. That is why the early morning hours can be so unforgiving. It is not just that you are waking up. It is that several stressors can arrive at the same time. Hormone surge, blood pressure rise, tighter vessels, mild dehydration from the night, then sudden movement on top of all of it. That combination is exactly where trouble can begin. I want to tell you about a man I will call Robert. Robert was 69 years old, retired, careful, and in many ways doing the right things. He took his medication as prescribed. He tried to eat reasonably well. He walked regularly. He kept his follow-up appointments. He did not think of himself as careless or high risk. One morning, his alarm went off at the usual time. He reached over, shut it off, sat straight up, swung his legs out of bed, and stood almost instantly because he wanted to get to the bathroom. He took a few steps, felt a sudden rush of dizziness, grabbed the wall, and then collapsed to the floor. Later, when his case was reviewed, many of the obvious risk factors had already been discussed over the years. His medication had been reviewed, his blood pressure had been monitored, his diet had been discussed, his exercise had been discussed. But almost no one had ever asked him what he did in the first 30 seconds after waking. That is why I am making this video. Because many adults over 60 are trying hard to protect their hearts, but every morning they still repeat one dangerous sequence without even realizing it. Here is the habit. They stand up immediately. That is it. Alarm goes off. They sit up fast, swing their legs off the bed. And in 2 or 3 seconds, they are vertical. It feels like nothing. It feels completely ordinary. But for the heart at that exact moment in the morning, it can be one of the most stressful things you do all day. Here is why. When you are lying flat in bed, blood is distributed more evenly through the body. But the moment you stand up, gravity pulls a significant amount of blood down toward the legs and lower abdomen. cardiovascular system must respond immediately to keep enough blood flowing to the brain. In a younger body, that reflex is fast and precise. Blood vessels tighten quickly, heart rate adjusts smoothly, pressure stays stable, the person barely notices. But after 60, that reflex can be slower and less reliable. Blood pressure may drop suddenly for a few seconds. The brain may receive less blood in that moment. That is why some people feel gray, shaky, foggy, weak, or unsteady right after standing up in the morning. Many people treat that feeling as normal aging. It is not something to shrug off, because when blood pressure drops suddenly, the heart tries to compensate. It starts beating harder, sometimes faster. It pushes more aggressively to restore circulation. And if that is happening at the exact same time that morning hormones are already raising pressure and tightening blood vessels, the cardiovascular system may be forced into an abrupt, unstable adjustment. For some people, nothing dramatic happens. But for a vulnerable heart, this can be the moment that triggers chest pain, palpitations, fainting, an arrhythmia, or a much more serious cardiac event. That is the 25 to 30 second morning mistake. Not smoking, not bacon, not dessert, standing up too fast. And there is a second reason the morning can be uniquely dangerous, and this part surprises many people. After 7 or 8 hours of sleep, you are mildly dehydrated. You have not had water all night. You have been breathing for hours. You have been losing moisture the whole time. By morning, your mouth may feel dry, your body is slightly depleted, and your circulation is simply not as supported as it was the evening before. That matters because the heart is a pump, and blood is the fluid it must move. When fluid balance is lower, and the body is even mildly dehydrated, circulation becomes less forgiving. The heart may have to work harder. The system becomes less smooth, less buffered, less stable. Now combine that morning dehydration with the hormone surge we just discussed. Then add a sudden jump out of bed. Then add the rush many people feel to get moving immediately. That is not a gentle start for the heart. That is a stress test before the day has even begun. And this brings me to the protective habit I want you to remember. Before you stand up, drink water, not coffee first, not checking your phone first, not rushing into the bathroom if it can safely wait a few seconds. Water first. Keep a glass of room temperature water by your bed. Drink it before you stand if possible. This gives your circulatory system support at the moment it needs it most. It helps your body begin correcting the overnight dehydration before you demand sudden movement from the heart and blood vessels. Now, I want to ask you something simple. Do you drink water before anything else in the morning? Yes or no? Answer that honestly in your mind, because the answer says a lot about how your morning routine may be affecting your heart. But water alone is not the full solution. The real protection comes from a short sequence, a routine, a deliberate pause that gives your cardiovascular system time to catch up. I call it the 90-second morning heart routine. Step 1. When your alarm goes off, do not move immediately. Stay where you are for a moment and take 3 slow, deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Then again, then once more. This sounds simple, but it matters. Slow breathing helps calm the sudden stress response of waking. It tells the nervous system not to launch the body into the day like an emergency. 3 breaths. That is where protection begins. Step 2. Drink the glass of water you placed by your bed the night before. Drink it before standing if possible. Not a tiny sip. The full glass. Give the body fluid before you ask the heart to handle movement, gravity, and the demands of the morning. Step 3. Roll to your side and push yourself up slowly into a seated position. Sit on the edge of the bed for about 20 to 30 seconds. Let your body adjust. Move your ankles. Gently flex your calves. Allow circulation to wake up gradually instead of forcing it to correct itself after you are already on your feet. Then stand up slowly, and once you are standing, do not walk immediately. Pause for a few seconds. Let balance settle. Let the head clear. Then take your first step. That is the full protocol. 3 breaths. 1 glass of water. Sit before you stand. Then rise slowly. No special equipment. No expensive supplement. No device. No complicated technique. Just 90 calm seconds. There is one more detail I want to mention, because it matters especially for adults over 60 who wake up feeling rushed or tense. Some people do not just stand up too quickly. They tense their whole body while doing it. They hold their breath, clench their muscles, force themselves upright, and immediately begin moving. That added strain may place even more pressure on the heart and circulation. So tomorrow morning, do not just focus on speed. Focus on how you move. No jerking, no rushing, no forcing. Gentle, controlled, deliberate. That is how you want your heart to begin the day. Now let me come back to Robert. After he recovered, we talked in detail about his mornings. He described the same routine he had followed for years: alarm, immediate movement, straight to vertical, straight to the bathroom, no pause, no water, no adjustment time at all. We changed just a few things. A glass of water on the nightstand, 3 slow breaths before moving, sitting on the edge of the bed before standing, then standing slowly and pausing before walking. At follow-up, the morning dizziness he had dismissed for years had improved dramatically. He felt steadier, clearer, less shaky, more in control. Most importantly, he was no longer forcing his cardiovascular system into a sprint the moment the day began. That is the bigger lesson here. The most dangerous habits are not always dramatic. Sometimes they are tiny habits hidden inside normal life, habits that feel too ordinary to matter. Habits repeated so often that no one questions them until the day they finally do matter. So let us bring this together clearly. The early morning is one of the most demanding windows of the day for the heart. Stress hormones are rising, blood pressure is changing. Blood vessels may be tighter, the body may be mildly dehydrated, and if you stand up immediately in those first 25 to 30 seconds, add a sudden circulatory shift that can force the heart to compensate aggressively. That is the mistake, standing up too fast. And here is the fix. 3 slow breaths before moving, 1 full glass of water before standing. Sit on the edge of the bed for 20 to 30 seconds. Stand slowly, pause, then walk. If you are taking blood pressure medication, diuretics, or medication that affects balance or circulation, or if you often feel dizzy on standing, have palpitations, or have a history of fainting, please speak with Dr. Clara Hoffman or your own qualified physician before making changes to your routine. Because while this habit is simple, your medical history still matters. Now here is what I want you to do tonight. Put a glass of water on your nightstand before you go to sleep. Just that one step. Do it before bed so tomorrow morning your heart has a different beginning. And if this message helped you, please share it with someone over 60 who gets out of bed too quickly every single day without thinking. It may be your spouse, your parent, your friend, your neighbor, or someone who lives alone and has never once been told that the first few seconds of the morning matter. If you want more simple, practical guidance like this, subscribe and stay with us. My goal is to give you the kind of health information people often hear too late, after the warning sign, after the collapse, after the frightening morning they never expected. Take care of your heart. It has been working for you every minute of every day for decades without stopping. Tomorrow morning, give it 90 calm seconds in return. That is more than fair. Disclaimer: everything shared in this video is general educational information and is not a substitute for personal medical care. If you have chest pain, severe dizziness, fainting, shortness of breath, an irregular heartbeat, or any medical condition affecting blood pressure or circulation, please speak with Dr. Clara Hoffman or your own physician before changing your routine. Good health decisions begin with good information and proper medical